So wonderful to see you, and welcome to this special episode of Living Earth's Youth Dialogue today. And it's probably the most special and very complex episode since the start of our program, right, Jared? But we're so excited to have you with us. And we hope from now on, we're starting a new era for our Living Earth Youth Dialogue, is to invite more teenagers to join us on a monthly basis. And as you know, and tonight is a special program, like a little warm-up and preparations for our upcoming Claremont Eco Forum. And this has been one of the most important and the earliest forum on ecological civilization in the US. And it's been 17 years, and it's been 17 times, and this year will be the 17th time. And then also the sixth time for a youth forum specifically. So tonight, we're so happy to have our friends Andrew here with us, and we'll want to invite Andrew to tell us a little bit about the program, also to welcome us to join this program and a special episode online. And then Andrew is the president for Center for Process Study, director for Center for Process Study, and vice president for EcoCiv, Ecological Civilization Institute. And also he is the co-writer for the book, What is Ecological Civilization, which is going to be translated and published in Chinese. For our young friends here online, if you're interested in learning about what is ecological civilization, you know who to look for. Okay, well, Andrew, hi.
Hi, thank you, Vivian, and welcome everyone. It's wonderful to see your faces from all over the world. It sounds like with various weather, but mostly sunny. As Vivian said, I'm Andrew Schwartz, and I'm one of the organizers of this year's Claremont Eco Forum, which is the 17th International Forum on Ecological Civilization and the 6th International Youth Forum on Ecological Civilization. So I think today's gathering is getting linked up as a sort of a pre-warm-up, connected to that larger event. So basically, we have a two-day conference that starts on Friday, and it's at Pitzer College this year. It actually has been in Claremont, California, at the Claremont colleges here for I think maybe the first 15 years or something like that, 14 years. And then with COVID, we went fully online. So then we're coming back trying to be in person because we feel like it's important to be able to share that space for building relationships, which I think are really key toward collaboration, toward the kind of transformative work that we hope comes out of our conference to build an ecological civilization. So um, two-day conference. I think we have about 75 scholars from around the world coming to share their research with us, all on this vision of the co-benefits, human well-being and planetary health. So I hope you can join us. And if you can't, which is perfectly okay, and that it's especially since it happens, the conference is only in a couple of days, right? We are going to do it again. We'll be doing it again next year, and it's going to be great. I think we're looking at June, probably like June 5 through 7. And it's actually going to be a both in-person and fully online event held in Claremont. We're looking at partnering with University of Laverne over here in Southern California. So lots of exciting things happening. If you ever want to talk more about ecological civilization and the sort of global movement that we're all a part of, um, please feel free to reach out to me. Center for Process Studies, EcoCiv, the Living Earth Movement, the Cobb Institute, all of our friends are very much interested in pursuing this goal together. So glad to have you a part of that.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. And we'll for sure coming up, and it's good to know next year will be also in person and online. That's more to look forward to. Great. And yeah, as you know, this is a special episode for Living Earth Youth Dialogue. And for a lot of our young friends today, teenager friends, and probably it's very new for you, and you have probably heard about this from me. But I'd like to invite my colleague Jared Morningstar to also tell us a little bit about the programs and the background and history. Hi, Jared.
Hi, Vivian. Yeah, what an exciting program we have tonight. Great to have so many folks in the Zoom together and so many presenters coming up. So, yeah, the Living Earth Youth Dialogues is a program that Vivian and I co-organize with support from the Living Earth Movement, the Cobb Institute, and the Institute for the Postmodern Development of China. Basically, our program is once a month. Dialogues on Zoom, similar to what we're doing tonight. But each month we either have an incredible young guest from China or the US coming to share their experiences, their ideas, research, or in the world type experience, all things that relate to this idea of ecological civilization that we're trying to promote here. So the thinking is it'd be great to build some bridges between the US and China to foster some cross-cultural dialogue and friendship too. And what better way to do that than tackling these ecological issues together, since they're going to be and already are affecting us all, since these are planetary issues. So we've been going since I think was it December 2022. So a good bit of time now. We've had a number of dialogues, and I will show you some of the past programs we've had here. So yeah, every month we've been doing this for a good bit of time now, and yeah, all sorts of different topics: permaculture, cuisine, going back to the land, something a little more cosmological, architecture, rewilding, climate change action, something a little more artistic and poetic, thinking about pilgrimage and the sacred, water conservation, social ecology, urban rooftop farming. So you can see there's all sorts of different topics we explore. I have presented myself once, and yeah, it's meant to be really open, really broad, and we're always looking for new, passionate young people to join us and to present for these events. And so we would certainly welcome your contributions beyond just this evening. And if you're joining in to these dialogues for the first time, and maybe aren't physically a youth anymore. I know some of us are young at heart, eternally. But we'd love to have you around too to join these conversations, to support the young people doing incredible things. So at the bottom of our program page here, you see this simple little form, just name and email. And if you fill that out, you get added to our email list. And the only thing we send is once a month the announcement for our next dialogue, usually about a week in advance. And our typical timing for these events is Friday evenings for those of us in the United States, which is then Saturday mornings in China. So it's a little tricky trying to find a good time that works for both Americans and Chinese, but that seems to be, yeah, one of the better options. So we would love to have you at future events, and I'll share the link to our program page in the chat so you can look at some of the past events. Some of them are getting uploaded to YouTube, so they're getting archived, so you can watch back some of these interesting presentations and conversations. But yeah, feel free to sign up. We'd love to have you involved.
Great. Thank you, Jared. Now, wow, let's look back into all this program. That's quite something, like a year and a half building. And then I hope all of you who's here with us tonight would like to come and join us in the future and contribute to that as well. And so, yes, I am going to quickly introduce today's sequence, and we will be starting off our sharing. And before that, I'd like to share that some of our presenters tonight will be joining us offline on Saturday. So if you are, also let us know on the chat room so we know who to look for. We'll say hi. We'll for sure say hi. So yes, so tonight we'll have 8 group of friends sharing. I just sent the sequence in our chat room, and if it's okay for you, and if there's anything you'd like to change, please let us know. I understand we also have a special guest, Valencia Xu, and she will be also sharing her stories on ecological civilizations. So we'll have probably around 9 group of friends sharing, and please be mindful of our time, around 7 to 10 minutes top, and for the sharing. And after that, we will open the floor to, after each session, we'll open the floor for question and answer for 1 or 2 questions. So that's our plan for tonight. And I understand that our friend Annie, she is going to run off very soon. Okay, so Annie, would you like to do the sharing first?
Yes. So I don't have a PowerPoint combined yet because I'm drawing from a couple different projects that I have worked on in the past. So far, I think the theme that we'll be doing for this presentation is how art can be used as a bridge to sustainability by bridging together, most importantly, business economics with environmental conservation and such. So it started from a couple years ago, actually when I was in grade 7, when I read in a book called, I think it's Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, that as our industrial, that as our economic growth will also increase our carbon dioxide pollution. And when our carbon dioxide decreases, it is not because we signed the Paris Agreement, but it was because we're in the 2008 recession. So that kind of draws me into the interest of seeing the debate between whether we must sacrifice the environment for economical growth. And that has also led me to research about the Kuznets curve in which it basically says that this trend will be happening, but once we have reached a technical breakthrough, then we'll all be protecting the environment more and more as our economy further grows. Yes, it is around Sapiens, a brief history of humankind. I forgot whether it was that one or the sequel to that, Homo Deus. I forgot. I read it a long time ago. Yes, but that's very good books that I like. So I think it was that one, and then so led me to research about the Kuznets curve, and then afterwards they decided to combine some of my interests together to make it kind of more like hands-on. So I have 2 projects that I want to specifically mention in this case. So my first project is called Green Glim, and I don't have, oh my goodness. I'm gonna turn off my background so I can show photos from my phone. Choose virtual background. Yes, and so this is one of our products. So this is a lamp that the paper is made from like wasted notes paper, for example, like notes, old PDF. Since in school we go through a lot of paper on a daily basis, so we don't need it. We put together this recycled paper, and as you can see in the bottom behind that is supporting it, it is basically recycled tennis bottle cans, and as the base is 3D printed by us. So this is one of my first, one of my best, I would say my best entrepreneurship journey, in which I worked with 5 other of my classmates to make this product. So we have many different designs, and we have made pretty much a very good sale in our school so far. And we also have a lot of designs, and all like the materials that we use are like almost 100% recycled. Of course, the light in the recycle, but to ensure the quality, but it is also LED light, which also make it more sustainable. So through this design, what we're trying to get at is that we want to diverse solid waste outside of landfills. And from my previous experience, I realized that just simply having the selling point of that you are a sustainable business is not enough. Or in other words, your ESG rating isn't all that your investors don't care about. Like your ESG rating isn't going to draw in the customers as much. So that is where art comes in. So by using art, let me pull out my iPad, a variety of designs. So by using art, I'm able to really rapidly increase the selling rate of our products, since everyone said, oh man, OMG, your lamp is so pretty, I want to buy those. So people are buying for the aesthetic, but however, they are also contributed to environmental conservation on the side of this. So this is just something I found so amazing, and also have another product where we're making keychains keychains and ornaments out of like recycled 3D printing filament. And so for the 3D printing filament, we're making it out of like old plastic bottles. I'm also doing some research in seeing how we can use, for example, like ABS plastic and make it into like recycled 3D filament to print those kind of accessories and such. It shows me how like art has the power of drawing people in. So it reminds them about like environmental conservation. And yeah, this is my iPad, and here's a wide variety of some of the designs that we have. And this one, okay, I'll put all this in my PowerPoint afterwards, but I don't have it. This one, as you can see, is obviously Van Gogh's painting. And then I'm also very happy to share with you our bestseller, in which it is inspired from Chinese 山水画, from a Chinese water, like mountain paintings and such. Like they're all like cultural motifs I'm utilizing, and I'm glad this one become the bestseller. So that is one project that I want to talk about more on this youth forum. However, I'm also the president for Art for Earth Youth Environmental Youth Club, in which it is also supported by Global Youth Philanthropy. And then so for this one, we have just recently hosted a very successful art exhibition around oceans, themed around ocean conservation. And this just showed me another power of how art is able to contribute to awaken the kind of direct triggers and stimuli in our brain about protection of the environment. For example, if you see so many different ads, you have seen so many different ads about environmental conservation, you see those ads, you're bored of it. However, when we put art into this process, we're able to hit a deeper part of our soul, where we're able to be like, oh, wow. So this is what it is actually going to be like. So there's this notion out there that, well, if you ever become an artist, you won't get paid and such, you won't find a job in the future. However, I want to say that maybe that is not the case. Well, personally, next year I'm going to New York University, and I'm hoping to take a major in economics and minor in environmental sciences. However, art is definitely one of my strong suit, and hope to utilize business in combination with art in the future to really push the notion of environmental conservation. Since I think by combining like the market power with the power to actually dig down to your soul, we can actually produce products that is able to help us to further like diverse ways or for the Earth's conservation and more and more. And I also believe in curves and curves that maybe in the future with new technology that hopefully I will be a part of in the production soon, that we can really overcome the paradox of sacrificing the environment with economics, and we can make our world a better place. Yeah, I think that is kind of what I have so far. I haven't written a script yet, so I'll make it organized today or tomorrow. And yeah, I think I got it wrong because I have a band performance and a band uniform. Okay.
Thank you
so much. Actually, because that is the Vancouver weather outside right now. I'm in a stairwell of a random school.
Oh, that's beautiful. And thank you for making the time. And do you have to run soon?
Yeah, thank you. I'll watch the recording afterwards.
Yeah, sure. Sure. And cool. Well, if any of our friends online want to ask a quick questions or interact a little
I can
bit.
stay for a bit. I have a couple more minutes.
What are you performing in the band?
Auto saxophone. So tonight we are working with our orchestra, and we're performing a symphony by Mozart and also Nausicaa by what's his name? Joe Hasashi. So yeah.
Wow. Artsy. Great.
Yeah. I mean, music can also be a way to like promote environmentalism, I think. Just using like combining liberal arts with business to promote environmental conservation and environmental awareness, or to just directly help us to divert waste or decrease pollution. I think that is one of my very big interests of combining my own passion with business to help the earth. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm for sure inspired by your passion, and it's beautiful that you're combining arts and creativity and business together. You know, usually that's not easy to be integrated, and I'm so glad you're starting now and you're doing this. And I wonder if if Ron is here, because I know Ron is professor for management and business. If he is here, I want to ask you a questions or say something
Oh
about,
yeah.
yeah.
Like the lamp our company is called Green Glen, and we have already received second place at the Innovate business competition hosted by UBC in Necklace. So that
Oh,
was
wonderful.
pretty
Will you
good.
be bringing some
Right.
of your lamps here to Claremont?
Yes, I have some samples at home. I just tell my friends tomorrow that I'm gonna bring it here. Bring it. I have 7 lampshades with just one base. So.
All right, cool. Well, if no one is around,
Well,
oh, here, oh, Ron is here. Hi, Ron.
good. Well, hello.
Hi.
No, I won't take long, but I just want to say that what you are doing is you are attempting to bring their hearts into the economic decisions. And the main thing we've been working on is that we all understand you can do about head and heart or left brain and right brain, whatever it is, but that you have economic decisions, but you must bring the heart and the art to the
Yes.
decisions that you make. So thank you so much for what you do. You've been doing it
Thank
for
you.
thousands of years. We've been doing it for hundreds of years, not always well, but we try. But there's a history to it, and every generation needs to recreate it. That's why I'm here, because you are the next generation to create the heart to guide the economic decisions of the mind of the economy. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. It is my honor, and also I will give some credit to my 4 other colleagues who have also worked on this project with me.
Great. Well, thank you, Annie. Yeah, we will let you go back to your performance, and then I look forward to see you on
Yeah,
the set.
I'll watch the recording afterwards, and I'll be there in person. So yeah,
Perfect.
see you guys soon.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Bye.
Bye. Good. Well, that was quite a passionate start. That's wonderful. Thank you. So yeah, so we have now I would like to invite Valencia if Valencia is here. Yes. Hi, Valencia. Valencia, I only met her last week on through introduction, and we have I thought we're just gonna have like a 15 minutes quick catch up conversation, and we ended up having like an hour and a half proper talk, and we share lots of experiences in the past. And Valencia has multiple experiences working in the global south. I believe now she's researching the food policies and development study, and various other organizations she's started. So so she's our special guest today, and I also want her to maybe share a little bit of your experiences in college and living and working and studying in the US, because lots of our young friends online today might probably come to the US next year or in the years to come. So yeah, and you're the 学姐. So the stage is yours, Valencia.
Thanks, Cindy. Let me share my screen. Great. Hi, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Depends on where you are. And thanks, Cindy, for organizing this event. I'm really happy to become one of these meaningful dialogues and see our youth leaders to change a difference for the world. Today, I'm going to share about how you can start the social innovation by yourself, and I have some key takeaways for you. So first of all, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Valencia. I graduated from the University of Hong Kong and Columbia University. Early in my career, I'm a social entrepreneur and co-founded several projects, from the sustainable fashion for women to the psychological education for children. And then I founded China's first social innovation organization in menstrual health and hygiene, named Period Pride, to reduce period poverty and period shame. And then I was invited as the column director of the magazine Stanford Social Innovation Review's Women Power column. After that, I realized that the world is much bigger than where I grew up, and I have strong passion to see how the world is running and what I can do, especially for developing countries and the people living there. So that's why I chose to become a development consultant. First, I work for an organization in Latin America about genderless investing. That's because women couldn't get the financial resources to build their own business, and I help them to have more access to the financial resources. And then for the ACDI VOCA, I fundraised for a fund which will invest in agriculture transformation, smallholder farmers, and also to help them to get rid of the poverty. And now I work as a researcher at the IFPRI to help governments to make policies on economics and to try to do the agriculture transformation and have more farmers to have more income in the future. Now, you'll have a quick understanding of what I'm doing and how I can make lots of impacts and to start those social enterprises. And here are some tips I prepare for you. So first of all, is respect. If any one of you have ever visited the Natural History Museum in New York, there is an exhibition named The Invisible World. So in the exhibition, you will find actually our eyes could only capture very limited information. Many things like the infrared light, the X-ray, the tiny insect, the cell structure, distant star, and transparent objects, our eyes couldn't figure out them at all. And at the same time, we have a strong connection with the things that are invisible to us. Actually, we are all part of the same family tree and influencing each other. That's why we should recognize that humans are not the rulers of the earth. We should raise awareness and respect for other species and the forms of life. And second, when you have this methodology, you then want to figure out what problems or challenges that need more patience and what we can do for it. And that's what I recommend, to observe and listen from the local people. So here is an example and a story named the Sunflower Project. It is in January, I went to Kenya and talked with the local farmers. And I found actually in Kenya's village, which is named as Kasigo, there is a big problem between human beings and elephants. We really think that elephants are smart, are very cute, and are very harmony to human beings. But the truth is that elephants would also walk on the crops, and sometimes they would also take away the crops from the farmer's kitchen and the field. And this caused a very serious food insecurity locally. And in the past, what is the solution? People and elephants have a strong fight with each other. Sometimes the organizations think, okay, we should remove the local people, and that's something very bad. And sometimes local people think that, okay, we should fight back, we should use the force to deal with the elephants. But then the change happens. Our guide, which is also a scientist, he grew up in Kenya, and he went back to the field, to the farm, and to look around, saw several months, and then he recognized that elephants never walk on sunflowers. And then he asked about the villagers. Elephants never walk on sunflowers? And villagers says, yes, they never walk on it. And then a good idea comes out. So he suggested the farmers and the local people to use the sunflowers in their farming. And then they found that actually elephants would keep away from the farm and never walk on the crops. And also he brought lots of machines for the local people, so the local people could use the sunflowers to have more oil, and then they have more income for their children to go back to the education. And that's something very good and become very harmony between the local people and the elephants. So the hate has disappeared, and all is because he went back to the farm and listened to the local people. So this is step 2. The best ideas always come from the everyday wisdom of the local people. And then the third step is to design and collaborate. So here I will share an example taken by the Period Pride. Actually, our organization recognized that there is a period stigma in our culture. So for instance, if women want to buy some sanitary pads in the supermarket, then the staff would bring a black plastic bag for them to have the sanitary pads in it, because they think that there's something that should be invisible. And that's caused something even more serious, because when women have some health issues, health problems related to it, they never want to talk about it, and their pain points would never be solved, and we don't provide the services or products for them. And furthermore, they will lose the confidence of their identities. And this causes more gender inequality. So we need more designs and more actions. So at that moment, we realized that we could use a theater and also a live house to reduce the period stigma. So we collected the information from the stakeholders, such as the transgender people who are experiencing like the period trauma, like the left behind children in the villages who have the period of poverty and couldn't get access to sanitary pads, and so on. We collect this information and then we write an original theater performance and to play it in Beijing, in Shanghai. Hundreds and thousands of audience joined us and engaged in this campaign. And I remember that actually at that time, some audience, they are middle-aged men. And because of theater, something that can build the empathy between human beings. And they were really impressed. And they feel like, okay, I never know about it. I even thought that the blood is something like blue color, but it doesn't. And we still have lots of things we can do together. So this is a story. And another story is about our project, which is named as the Child-Friendly Toilet Project. Because through this process, we recognize that actually many left-hand children in villages, they don't have access to the sanitary pads. And also in their toilets, there's no privacy. So when children find their emotions very down, they have themselves in the toilet, but the environment is very bad. Also, they don't have doors, so they don't want to change their sanitary pad. And after recognizing that, we try to collaborate with the local nonprofit organizations, schools, and then we recognize that, okay, we can do the initiative. So we come to Fujian and Yunnan province in China and to do the child-friendly toilet project. So we build a new infrastructure, we have the door, we make the better environment, and also we have the posters in the toilets, so about the sex education. And now children feel much better, and this becomes something that makes them feel very security. And also we have the education classes and the sanitary pads donation for them to make them have the sustainable use and build confidence in their heart. So all of them is because that we can use our intelligence and passion to design something new and to try to collaborate with different stakeholders to see their pain points and to create value for them and ask them to add value together and to make a difference. So as one of our volunteers, she is also in high schools. So she said that menstruation is just like the tax. It's the pull and the conversation of the universe on my body. And finally, this is the final key takeaway. It's about today we are living in a world faced with lots of challenges, such as COVID-19, such as war. But what's most important is to find the peace inside yourself. Find something that may make you feel very calm, very peaceful, and this would bring you lots of energy. And then use the peaceful energy to influence more people. So I'm willing to see your future outcomes. And if you have any questions, please keep connected. This is my QR code of my WeChat. And also you can find me by searching my name on LinkedIn. I'm willing to have dialogues anytime. And now it's time for you to shine. Thank you. And let's hand it back to Celine.
Wow, wonderful. How beautiful, Valencia. I didn't know that all these projects you have done. How are you right now in the US, right?
Yeah, and currently in the Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. So yeah, wonderful. We'll see you sometime soon.
Yeah,
And
we'll see you in
well,
person.
I want to invite our friends to think about the questions, and then I want to ask you a question if that's okay. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned finding the inner peace, uh, and have your you know, in the busy time, finding your inner peace and tap in that resources of that creativity and the peace and love to create or to face the world. And then how do you find peace? What is your favorite thing to do to find your inner peace?
Yeah, a very good question. I think for myself, it's more about being invisible and being seen. It means that when I lose the energy and I lose even confidence to change the world, especially faced with lots of challenges, what draw myself back is about having the dialogues with my friends who are also change makers, who are also passionate for the world. And that process makes me feel that, okay, so my mind isn't alone. It can be seen and it can also bring energy to others. So I would ask them, okay, maybe we can have a coffee chat or just a relaxing chat, sometimes with some like coffee, with some beautiful music, with some soft music, and then we can have the dialogue. And then after that, everyone's energy is back. So it's very magic.
So having this dedicated moment for yourself and or for your group to go away from your daily routine, but go into a peaceful moment with music or coffee or a conversation.
Yeah, a
And
group of
it's beautiful to
others.
know, always remind us that we're not alone. And even if we are in a downtime, we know that we are not alone. We're interconnected with so many beings around us. I like particularly what you said there, where there's the parts in the Natural and History Museum, and what we can perceive in the world with our perception is very limited, and the whole world is much more vibrant, and it's much more it's broader than our perceptions, and they're all here with us, and we're never alone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. And do we have friends here to want to interact or ask questions? 年轻的朋友们。Yeah, I'm sure. Mike, I saw Mike writing something, maybe not finishing this. Yeah, we have Celeste here. Celeste says, as a physicist, I agree. Yes, we're all interconnected. Okay, well, thank you, Valencia. Yeah, we will start having these interactions, and I hope to have you back with us on the program soon after.
Yeah, looking forward.
Okay. Thank you. Good. So next up we have Chris. Chris Huliao, if you're here with us.
Yeah, I am.
Hi. And so Chris's topic will be ecological economics, Rose and Panda, inspiring hope in China's ecological transition. Wow, sounds like an interesting topic. Great, Chris. Stage is yours.
Can you guys see the screen? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So, as mentioned by Xinlin, my topic is Rose and Panda inspiring hope in China's ecological transition. All right, so what I'm gonna talk about is first I'll just give you guys a quick introduction. Then I have like two case studies that I want to go through to explain the concept of ecological transition and how it can be successful. The first one I'll be talking about roses, and the second case study is on pandas. And lastly, I'll have some like my own thoughts and some like questions I have for this topic in general. Introduction then. So last last summer, I had a great opportunity to visit various rural like locations in China to study their economic development. And I went to two villages, respectively being the Maoshui village and the Dengshigou village. And I gained a totally different perspective on economic growth. It really just redefined the ways that I approach economy in the first place. I think that in general, like educational curriculum right now has designed to focus a lot on spreading environmental awareness in recent years, right? Like even in my high school, that there has been a lot of like discourse surrounding how we should make the planet a greener place. But this sort of like movement, while this is a good trend, this has led a lot of people, and also including me and my family members, fearing the possibility of losing the economy at the same time that we're preserving the environment. This, which is a common theme that has been brought up by like the previous speakers like repeatedly. But I think that like the villages being the Maoshui and the Denshigo village kind of give me a emotional relief as they actually demonstrate like possible transitions to ecological growth, and I'm going to talk about how they do so. I think that like in general, like the takeaway is that both villages create prosperities in a sustainable way without breaking the limitations of the earth. And you can see some of the pictures I put here are just actually me in those villages and doing the things that the villagers do on a day-to-day basis. Like if you like see the third photo is me like helping the local elders there to pick up some roses. So like usually they have to do it themselves and it takes a lot of times, and they have to carry like the roses in their bag all the way down the mountain. So I was kind of like doing those stuff, and I had a lot of like the second picture is like my actual interactions with the locals there, and it was actually a very enjoyable experience, and I learned a lot from them. Next, I want to just talk about the locations of those two villages. It's kind of hard to fit the two locations in the same map, but as you can see from the top left, this is the blue mark shows the location of the Maoshui village, and the bottom in the middle there, the other blue mark shows the location of the Denshi village. Also, just like a note here that the Maoshui village, which is on the top left, is the place where they have like roses, where they like plant roses and export it out to make to stay like profitable as a village. And the Denshi village is where they have like pandas and stuff like that, and it attracts a lot of like tourism. Okay, yeah, two pictures so you can sort of visualize them in your head. The first is Denshi Village. This is like the hotel that I actually stayed in the hotel when I was there, which is based on the theme of panda, and this is the Maoshui village of roses. Okay, first I'm going to talk about the Maoshui village's roses then. So how do they sort of go on to the path of ecological transition? Maoshui village in Xiaojing County, Sichuan, transformed from deep poverty to prosperity by switching from growing potatoes and peas to cultivating roses. And I want to actually like have this is a surprising coincidence from the last speaker, Vivian, I believe, which is that like like she talked about how like elephants they don't really step on the sunflowers. In the same case with like Maoshui village, they're like wild boars. Like they usually will like mess up the potatoes that the villagers were originally growing. But what is different now is that like what is sort of different is that the wild boars do not actually disturb the wild roses. They're just not interested in the wild roses because the wild roses have like a very sharp like stuff on it that's gonna hurt the boars. So basically, upon that discovery, the village replaced potatoes with roses. And in 2019, supported by the rose industry, all 3,260 households with 11,000 people in 88 poor villages in the county were lifted out of poverty, leading Shaoxing to officially exit the list of impoverished counties just because of this discovery by the locals. Again, I think local knowledge is, again, very, very important. If you want to transition an economy to something better, you have to rely on the local knowledge. You probably know the best about their places. So I want to extrapolate all of the things I just told you and then just sort of like give you a formula for how I think this success can be replicated elsewhere. So the first thing I think that the Xiaojing, the Maoshui village does really well is discovery, right? So they discover their unique like terrain and how like there's the boars that is messing up the potatoes. and how can it sort of prevent that? And the solution is roses. So the first step is identify and discover your own unique sort of like thing to that can make you sustainable in the long run. And the second is experimentation, which is like what happened in a mouse village is that they distributed a lot of seeds to the locals so they can have like a lot of trial cultivation on their own land to see if this actually works out. And the third is there's some degree of governmental interference through subsidy. About 50 million yuan has been invested by the government to support the rose industry chain and like all of the projects that you're building within your village. And the next is sort of publicity, which is sort of also like advertisement. So if we look at like there's a lot more tourism into going into the village through like because they built up things like the Rose Valley, where if you walk through the valley, there's going to be really, really pretty roses around you. And then there's also like expo parks built around the village. And these are sites that attract people onto your sort of village. And also publicity includes like media, right? The CCTV and the sort of Chinese media portray this village in a positive light, and this attracted a lot of people also going into that village and experiencing things. And the next step I figured out was marketization, which is there's a shift from government assisted like subsidy to more market driven through business partnerships. So what happens is that the village partner with a lot of like rose like businesses that use rose as a raw material, right? For example, makeup companies use roses as an ingredient to make a lot of their products. So they made partnerships with these companies, and then they even move broader to a more self-sustainable way without the interference or the help and the aids from the government. And this is also a crucial step. And the last is scale. Generally, this is just expansion of your business, right? Rose cultivation expanded from 1 village to 46 villages, and it helped a third of the county's impoverished population to escape poverty. More pictures. This is like me. The first picture is just me learning the sort of the cultural customs of the local people, and the second is that like learning sort of like having lectures and then with my with the peers I went along with. More pictures of the locals. Yeah, like usually they have literally boxes of roses, and these like elderly people, elderly locals have to carry it in a sort of bag that they hand behind them, carry it all the way down the mountain, which is a very extremely laborious like work. All right, the next thing I'm gonna talk about is panda then. So the panda, remember that is from the Denshigo village. And how do they achieve ecological transition? The Denshi village is where panda was first discovered, and the village has a rich diversity of wildlife, which has become a key attraction for tourists. And in recent years, through advertisement and state investment, there are new restaurants, hotels, and businesses open up in the village. And also like former mining stop, forestry, logging, plant stop, villagers who used to work in these industries have to look for new transition to have new livelihood, all because of a lot of like governmental regulations that says all of those environmentally damaging projects have to stop. And I think those like regulations are really, really important into transition into a more ecological a friendly way to develop our economy. And some more pictures, and also note that all of like the framework and the generalization I talk about in the roses stuff, like the first step, discovery and all of those stuff apply to pandas, right? Like you have to know, I think, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. Yeah, this is the national park for panda, the first picture, and the second again is hotels, right? Once you have like a tourist attraction site, you have to have like hotels where people can stay there. And then this is also a form of like stream of profit for the locals to be in a sustainable way. And this is just a pretty old picture that has a lot of like historical weight in it. It's like generations back, and the locals were literally interacting with pandas that were originally just kind of like there. Oh, wait, let me check the chat. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Vivian, for like expanding on the stuff I'm saying. Okay, some discussions then and my own thoughts. So the first kind of unique thought I had is that like just like in general for ecological economics, so this is not limited to the case study, which is that while like the gross domestic product in the US can perhaps like triple those in the Scandinavian countries like Sweden and Finland, the depression and suicidal rates in the US is so significantly higher to those counterparts, right? And this led me to just sort of like wonder if there's actually a clear correlation between GDP growth and indexes like HDI and just the long-term quality of life, which is accounted in sort of like the environment. So this has, upon some research, this has led a lot of like ecological scientists to develop the things known as gross ecosystem product, which represents the total combined value of various material products and services provided by ecosystem for human welfare and sustainable development. And I think that this is a far better metrics to actually quantify the quality of life. So while a lot of like countries like the US boast upon having improved the GDP, this is not actually indicative of the average quality of life of people. And we have to reframe literally our sense of economic growth in a different and radically different way so we can actually move forward and make progress. And some doubts I have about just the discipline as a whole is sort of the implementation challenges. I think that a lot of the successes of the case studies that I have seen, also they're not completely successful. They're still like the panda and the roses are still transitioning. I think that all of like both the dentistry village and the mousetree village have their own unique cultural heritages, being roses and like pandas. But what about a lot of other locations that are lacking them, right? As we all know that climate change is a borderless threat, and like across the world where like locations don't have those sort of privileges or those cultural heritage remaining in those sites, how are they going to combat climate change? So that's one like challenges and obstacle as we like transition, right? Lastly, which is the last thing I want to just put up here is like how can we really sell the narrative to make it more palatable to the public and the businesses and the consumers that we're trying to persuade, right? Because in the status quo, again, there's immense backlash to going green because of a perceived loss of personal profit or just personal interest. So how can we psychologically just persuade people in a way that makes them feel comfortable into transitioning into something better while still like keeping up to some degree of like economic quality of life, etc. Yeah, so those are all my like the content on my presentation. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Chris. We did know from your presentation, I know for sure that you have experienced it yourself and quite, you give it quite some thoughts. I'm very impressed. And I know some of our friends here online in Chengdu, here, I would like to call on them to respond to you because the site that you're in is also in Sichuan, and our friends there in Chengdu and Tianyou, also in Sichuan, but their villages are experiencing exactly, well, not exactly, but very similar issues, mass poverty alleviation and through a certain type of agricultural products, and in how when the agricultural products is going well, and how do you balance between the economic development and ecological preservation. That's always been a challenge for us, right? And I wonder if Nate is around.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am.
Oh, yes. Hi, Nate. Yeah, I wonder what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed by his work, inside Sichuan. May I ask, which part of Sichuan did you go to?
So it's the Shaojing County. That's the location of the county.
Is it in Garza or like Aba?
My geography is really, really
Aba.
okay. Thank you.
I don't I haven't really gone to Aba, mostly stayed around in the area of Chengdu. So I'm not entirely, I don't know what's it like over there, but it has been really interesting knowing how you helped the villagers to battle poverty. Really like this project.
Yeah, thank you very much. I guess like I wouldn't say I like really significantly and in a substantial way help the villagers. I think all of like the sort of transition is the bulk of the work is just like validly like should be contributed to both the sort of village counselors there and sort of like the village leaders there, because it was like I genuinely I was there to just like talk to the locals and learn about them and then just try to extrapolate something that can be applied to elsewhere. So like yeah, I think like it seemed probably important to give the due credit to those that are actually working there. Oh, Professor Ron, do you have something to say? I see your hand raised.
I do. What I've talked to Vivian about, your last statement was brilliant, where you said, "How do we tell the story? What is the narrative?" You said something like that, and that is where you have to make the business case. What we're trying to do is to take it's called the MBA in our country, the Masters of Business Administration, to run numbers and make the case and do all the economic analysis. That's what it takes. It has to be the narrative of good of society, but then you have to show it in the numbers. And so often we have the good of society, and over here we have the people who make the case for numbers. They go, that doesn't make sense. You've got to pull the whole thing together. It's not easy to do, but use the ecological language and the economic language. And I will give you the phrase, it's ecological economics. And that's the language that you all have to learn to bring it all together for people to go, oh, of course, that makes a better life for us all collectively, and I will have a good life within that community. That's the case, and it comes down to economic language. Thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just think like if you're pushing for any environmental reform, it's just an interdisciplinary sort of like project that it's not only the part where we have the theory, but it's also the part we like sort of propagate the theory onto the masses so that there's cooperations, right? Because I think like sort of the quote unquote collective action issue is a huge thing that is stopping any climate progress. That like any sort of climate change progress has to be done by everyone. And like if people are just trying to be like the free riders in a system, that's just not going to work.
That's right. That's right. So the field is ecological economics, and what I've talked to Vivian about and others, it needs a philosophy. It needs a philosophy of inquiry, how we think about it, to say that the common good also helps the individual within a community. So thank you. Don't give up on the business language. We can help you make the case. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Valencia, hi.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for sharing. I really love the sharing, especially both the case study and your thoughts. It reminds me when I work as a scholar for the University of Hong Kong to conduct the field research in Fujian province. Actually, we have lots of policies on the rural development, but there's still lots of problems in practice. So the official of the villagers, he told me that actually it's very hard to duplicate other villagers' success. So he found other villages, they could get the products to sell across China, they got the tourism, but for this village, they may not have the design, they may not have the natural resources, they may not have the transportation. So as you say that, okay, each village is so different from each other, and what we can do for them, how to build a bridge between them and the market. And also, the official told me that he found very difficult to attract the youth people, the young people to go back to the villagers. So do you have any ideas how we can attract more young people to come to the villages and to create something new for them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess is just as you said, this is like extremely difficult, but like we have to, I guess, find like I guess especially for young people whose preferences are constantly fluctuating. Sometimes they like this and sometimes they like something else. Especially they're like sort of trend followers. It's probably like hard to like just like cater to them as a consumer good in a long periods of time. But I guess like the solution is just generally to um like have some sort of like I guess subsidize like marketing or something like that, where like we can like I guess like for the panda, like for the panda Denshigo village, they built a lot of like theme that is built upon panda and then make them into hotels and other sort of like entertainment services, and that attracted a lot of young people. I guess just like always try to like, I mean, that's a really great question. Like, I don't know, there's probably not a blanket solution to it, but just try to keep track of these sort of like what young people like, and then sort of advertise them to them on social media that they also use for like probably stuff like TikTok and stuff like that, where young people are constantly on. That's like a way to get at least in touch with them. But also, I agree with the other part you said, right? Like a lot of the success has a lot of compounding variables, especially like it's not even like certain that you would get government subsidy, especially like even Western countries. If you're just like a village, you probably don't have a lot of political capital to like demand politicians to make certain like a huge amount of subsidy for you. And like they might be like government just don't like have the inertia to just like not do it and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the successes are extremely hard to duplicate. Completely agree.
Since we can do in the future.
So social media content with the sense of ecological economy, what would that sound like and look
Yeah.
like?
I
Yeah.
think that's great. I think that's what we sort of focus on, like the projects we did in the Xiaojing County, right? Like after like learning about the villages, like me and some peers were sort of designing social media to attract like it was sort of like a visual thing or like stimulation where people and young people in the cities can experience local life by planting roses on a visual like application. It's sort of like a game thing to attract young people. That's like something that we actually try to plan for.
Sounds good. Great. Yeah, we have one more. Alexandra. Hi, Alexandra. Do you want to ask your questions quickly?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if, Chris, you think that there might be opportunities for the village and their interaction with pandas to attract more government funding or private funding from local universities and colleges with programs that might be interested in animal behavior and zoology. Because since the pandas in that village are already quite acquainted with human beings, it might reduce the issue of, studying animals and making them feel uncomfortable. So I was wondering maybe if that could be a solution.
So like can you repeat what is the government funding going into, studying the behaviors of animals or just like helping animals in general? I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, so like public and private universities nearby, I don't really know what universities and programs the region offers, but if it's very close to natural flora and fauna, then perhaps there are quite a few programs that might be interested in natural conservation, biology, zoology, and animal behavior. So I was just wondering if that could be something that could benefit both parties.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Like there's like as you said, like the ecosystem in the Denshigo village is extremely diverse, and I think that any cooperations with like nonprofit or universities who are like at least have some interest in conservation of the ecosystem, I think that reaching out to them is definitely a possibility. And in regard to your question about like sort of like attracting more government funding, um I guess like it's like, so I guess there's like a sort of like a level of vulnerability here. Like I guess there's probably more like marginal benefit if government funding is distributed to like other villages who are like not even in the transitioning process. So perhaps like while I guess in general, while government is distributing fundings and subsidy to different areas, they have to evaluate on the vulnerabilities of those villages. So Denshigo villages, like I'm not 100% sure, but Vivian, is it like they're not really considered to be in the poverty list anymore? Yeah, right. No, right. So I guess like, so probably it would be hard to attract government subsidy even more because the benefit of that subsidy is not going to be as massive as the government distributing to elsewhere like rural areas. So I hopefully that answers the question.
It does. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Okay, well, next one up, we'll have a recording and sent in from our friends in Chengdu from Pioneer School, 先锋学校. I'm not sure if they're online now, but and this is your stage. 小梅姐 is here. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
I'm
online.
Good. Oh, great. Do you want me to do the screen sharing or you do it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay. Okay, so this one we will be changing our mind a little bit about an animal behavior and probably to an animal a lot of us a bit scared of or not know much about, and we're so looking forward. Okay, please.
Participate in it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Xu Jingyi. You can call me Jerry. I'm 16 years old. And I'm very pleased to
非常
participate
棒，
in this. I come
真
from
的。
Beijing, China. And I'm
小
currently
梅姐，你
studying
别说话。小梅姐这边声音没有了，你们把声音打开，不要说话。你可以从头来吗？
field investigation team in this matter. A total of 6 people.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Xu Jingyi. You can call me Jerry. I'm 16 years old, and I'm very pleased to participate in this forum. I come from Beijing, China, and I'm currently studying in Chengdu Pioneer School in Sichuan province. Because I've been crazy about snakes and other reptiles since I was a child, I set up a pioneer field investigation team in this matter. A total of 6 people participated in the team and led the team to the mountains around Sichuan basin for many times to conduct a systematic investigation of local amphibians and reptiles. The investigation object were mainly snakes. Some specimens were collected and provided to Chengdu Institute of Biology, Chinese Academy of Science, for a course named Nature Exploration. The different places we have visited include Sichuan, Hainan, and Yunnan province, China. One of the most impressive discoveries during our research. Also, the most important discovery so far is that I found the snake that I kept seeking for 6 years. The whitehead viper. It's about 11 p.m. and we had walked for more than 2 hours in the mountain. Since it is still cold at that time, and actually we scarcely found snakes that night. While we walked along the road, 2 cars drove from our back and went down the mountain. About 20 minutes later, we found a little snake in the middle of the road. Head white. Most of this dorsal black with orange patterns is the whitehead viper that I searched for 6 years. And the profile picture of my WeChat is just this one. What an exciting discovery! And what a pity to find it was just killed by the car. I guess it's killed by one of the 2 cars we saw 20 minutes ago. What a pity. But I had to accept the reality. At least I really thought it and saw it. One of my goals had been achieved. However, there are 2 reasons why I set up this course. On the one hand, there are many misunderstandings about snakes in China, which lead to a high fear of such creatures. Therefore, I hope that through this project, more people can have a new understanding of snakes and even more reptiles. Break the old view and stop hurting such creatures out of here. For example, I often tell them that snakes are not as scary as you imagine. On the contrary, if you meet a snake in the wild, maybe you don't even see its appearance and run away. So there is no need to worry about it. They are more afraid of you than you are afraid of them, as long as it does not feel threatened by you. It will not actively attack humans. And snakes play an important role in the natural ecological chain. And they are indispensable in maintaining ecological balance. For example, a lack of snakes will lead to the proliferation of rodents such as mice, causing damage to crops. On the other hand, snakes have been my interest since I was a child, and opening the course of nature exploration will enable me to better learn and study these creatures. And at the same time, through more frequent field investigation, my knowledge and vision will be further improved. For instance, during the group visit in Xishuangbanna, the most southern part in Yunnan province several weeks ago, we researched and observed 26 snakes, including 5 families, 7 genus, and 9 species. The most quantity is green pit viper, which belongs to Viperidae, and 14 of them were found in this visit. However, through my continuous research and study and leading the field investigation team, while seeing Chinese rich biodiversity, I also noticed the threat and damage caused by continuous survey cats to reptiles and even birds. The one-time beating of snakes by ignorant people, and the large-scale reclamation of the mountain forest gradually. This phenomena make me feel uneasy about the future ecological environment. I think we should strengthen the awareness of ecological protection, reduce the exploitation of forest resources, as well as poaching, trading, eating wild animals and other behaviors, so as to maintain the ecological balance as much as possible. Achieve harmony between man and nature, and build a civilized home. It is hard to get everyone to act, but it starts with us. After all, hope is worth waiting for. Slim is it, but it's more precious. Also hope to have the chance to learn in US for comprehensive study on herpetology and taxonomy, so as to classify more species and make more contribution to biological diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Xu Jingyi. You can call me Jerry.
Okay.
I'm 16 years old, and I'm very pleased to participate in this forum. Fact, the reality.
Wow.
At least I really thought it.
So wonderful. I've learned a lot about snakes. I hope you all do. Yeah, do we have any questions or comments? Yeah, be playful. That's
Hello.
right. Yes. Hi.
Actually, Vivian, it's the first time for Jerry to participate the international forum, and he's so nervous.
Oh,
and
doing a great job.
and he has some requests. If the people have questions, and he prefer to answered in Chinese, and would you please
Sure.
translate for him?
Yes, because currently my English not good.
Your
So-
English is good. No, it's probably you know most English words about snakes and all of us combined. So you're good. Yeah, great. Well, any questions, comments? This is a great chance to ask about snakes. Yeah, well, some friends in the chat room says you just met a snake 2 hours ago. Oh, wow. Celeste is in Costa Rica, so probably it's very possible to beat the snake. And Mike says there is a snake in the backyard. Oh, wow. And that's a please snake. Yeah. And I'm really moved by your thoughts on, learning about snakes. There's this stigma. There's a wrong thinking about like people scared about snakes, especially in China. And then I've known people that when they encounter a snake, they try to kill them or trying to stay away and trying to make their life miserable. And that's as you said, that's not necessary. And yeah, that's wonderful to have them around as part of our ecosystem. Yeah, any friends want to make comments? Glenn, are you there? I want to invite Glenn to give a little comments because Glenn is our neighbors here, and he's like the wonderful animal lovers that I know in our neighborhood. Yeah, what do you have to say, Glenn?
Well, I was very impressed. Can you hear me okay first? Okay, I raised reptiles. If you know some words about snakes, Crotalus ruber was a species of rattlesnake here in California. And even in the United States, many people are very terrified of snakes. And I've raised anacondas and reticulated pythons and many other types of snakes. Have you considered maybe some of the easier snakes to handle, perhaps giving talks in local areas to younger people, explaining their value and how they help the environment and eradicate pests that can damage crops and things like that, and that they are our neighbors here on the planet that we can live in harmony with if we learn to respect the nature of their relationship with nature is as valuable as ours. And I really applaud him taking that effort because so many people are terrified to overcome the idea of the unknown, particularly with an animal that can cause them harm. But when they realize the benefits, because there are medicines, there are treatments for diseases, and so many things that we have not discovered, that perhaps that person being careless with the automobile might have eliminated an animal that might one day cure some syndrome of a disease. And to teach everyone to have more respect for each species of animal is so important. And wonderful job, young man. Hard to hear the tape though, sorry, a little bit. Good job. Good job.
Great, thank you, Glenn. And Jay Jones, and also invite you to look into the 10th World Congress of Herpetology. Yeah, Jay, would you like to tell us a little bit of that?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a herpetologist, but I have a lot of herpetology friends. And I do know that there's a World Congress in Sarawak, which is really a big event. I can tell you, Jomei, that you would be welcomed into any herpetology professor's laboratory to have somebody who's aware with the detailed information that you have gathered. And I know you have a passion for these other species that other people ignore or misunderstand. I wish we all could get out into nature more and form that kind of emotional bond with the other critters that we are frankly displacing. So carry on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, carry on and make events in your in Pioneer, make your events in your local community to talk about your findings and to tell people about it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, thank you, Xiaomei. Good. Okay, so next one up, we have another group of friends also from Chengdu. Wow, we have a lot of friends from Chengdu today. Wonderful. That's where I live. That's probably a lot of diversity, biodiversity and diversity in knowledge is around. So next one we have a group of teenagers from, I think mostly from Chengdu, but they're all around China, and they will be talking about their local projects in engaging teenagers to participate in organic agriculture in Chengdu. And Nate, are you there?
Yep, I am. All right, so let's start, okay? Just wondering whether you guys could all see the screen.
Yes.
All right, so let us start, eh? So hello, everyone. My name is Nathaniel Shi from Chengdu, China. You guys can call me Nate. And thanks to the organizers for giving my friends and I the opportunity to share our Agan Youth project at the Claremont Eco Forum online event today. Also, I would like to thank all of the presenters for their wonderful talk. And today, we're all going to tell you what is it actually like to live in action, to build an eco-village as teenagers. Yeah. So in case you wonder, Agan stands for a nickname in Sichuanese for an orange. So we're a group of teenagers who love nature and respect the environment, and we're all across China. During the past 8 months, we have frequently commuted between Chengdu City and Tinyo Village, which is around 90 kilometers in between or 60 miles, and to learn how we can contribute to building a sustainable future together with the adults. Because as teenagers, we care about our future. Like everything we do, every choice we make will have an impact on the planet Earth and in turn on our health and well-beings. Agan Youth Project encourages more teenagers to participate in sustainable agriculture activities in Tinyo Village with the support from adults through mentorship and shared platforms. So Tinyo Village is a small village in Sichuan province where pandas are from. However, Tinyo Village does not have any pandas. Its main economic produce is Harumi orange, a type of citrus imported from Japan since 2001. Harumi orange monoculture covers around 2/3 of the entire village land area, and in the past 20 years or so, the air, the water, and the soil are severely polluted due to the excessive usage of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, creating severe environmental and health problems for the locals. Since 2020, the village has gathered more than 70 young people from big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, etc. They have become the new villagers working with the locals to build an eco-village. They restore the soil quality by planting Harumi oranges through organic ways, and they sell organic oranges across China using creative ways to promote the local industrial and economic development. 4 years ago, my parents took my sister and I, moving from the biggest city in China, which is Shanghai, to Tinyo Village. Day by day, I have witnessed the transformation of the village and also hope to contribute. So I started to invite more friends to experience the countryside life and initiated the Agan Youth Project. Next, we will take turns to tell what we have done.
We find a number of articles and reports on the Lancet Journal and the United Nations website emphasizing the importance of healthy food and the key roles youth can play. However, youth participation in sustainable agriculture activities is limited in China because there are few programs designed for teenagers to participate for an extended period of time. After initiating Agan Youth Project, We visited Tianyu village during weekends and holidays for field investigation and learned from Mr. Ye, who is in charge of ecological Harumi orange cultivation. We were deeply impressed by the soil restoration in Tianyu village. After 3 years applying sustainable practices, the soil underwent long-term chemical fertilizer treatment during mass orange monoculture process is restored noticeably. It gradually appears to have a much darker color and loose, most likely because of the rich organisms flourishing in them.
We also collected a survey to understand the younger generation's view on their participation in China's sustainable agriculture practices. According to our 195 village survey response, more than half of students had not attended any such activities in recent years. It's due to the pressure from academic study and lack of interest. The surveys indicate that students are more likely to attend activities if they are doing together with their friends, classmates, or family members.
So after the survey, we invite more than 25 classmates and their family members to participate in our pilot event, a Harumi Orange Picking Festival designed just for youth in January. We brainstormed together and planned a number of fun activities to raise teenagers' environmental awareness, such as garbage picking and running race. On the day of the event, everyone's favorite and most enjoyable part was picking and tasting the orange. Unlike the orange grown by traditional chemical fertilizer treatment, the ecological grown orange in Tianyu village smelled fragrant and had noticeable richer, fuller, and more flavorful taste, while the previous one tastes bland.
So in 8 months, we recruited 5 more members for this project. Our team also participated in the recent China Thinks Big Global Youth Research and Innovation Conference and learned from the top experts in both China and the world. More teenagers want to join us.
In the future, we plan to do the following things. First of all, we plan to invite more teenagers to build the Agan Youth Harumi Orchard together in Tianyu Village. It will be our base where we host our future activities. Last but not least, this is not only for the youths in China, as it covers 8 of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Goals to transform our world. A small orange in a small village in China is connected to the well-being and health of the whole ecosystem on the planet. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Right.
Wow.
Yep. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions?
Hello, Nate. Hello, Nate. Thanks for the presentation and your big team. That's really amazing. And I have a question for you and your team. So my question is, what are the challenges that you guys encountered during the process of the project? And what do you think, because your project is to attract more teenagers to the rural side and to this ecological project. And what do you think in the process? What do you think is the factor that would attract more teenagers? What are they interested? Thank you.
Oh, okay. So should I so let me repeat your question. So like the challenges that we faced throughout the entire journey, and then like, you know, the how we can implement. Sorry for the echo. First of all, the challenges that we faced throughout this journey is it's like relatively new. So it's very, first of all, it's very difficult to find people who actually want to do this project. I'm very lucky that when I went to this school, this principal was very supportive of our project. And then, so yeah, so she also spent a lot of effort trying to, promote my project, which became our project. So we have 5 members now. They're very supportive of it, and we currently have 6 members, as you can see on the second page of the PPT. But do I have to share it again, the PPT?
Yes.
All right, I'll share the second page again. We currently have, oops, sorry. We currently have 6 people in our entire team. Yeah, we've only done it for 1 year, and in the future we plan to have 20 by the end of this year, and we're gonna do it continuously. And then as for the things that interest teenagers the most, we've actually conducted a survey about how, like, what things they're especially interested in. The hell? All right, my bad. So, yep, this one. All right. These are 2 questions from our survey. We have more, but like we didn't put it on the PPT. And from our research, we have discovered that like most teenagers would like to participate in activities if there are sport activities involved. For example, we have the garbage picking festival, garbage picking and running competition over here. This one is especially tailored for the teens, because not only they could pick garbage, like, you know, cleaning up the streets, making the environment better, they could also run around in a village, and, you know, that's like what a lot of teenagers like. And I think there would be more, but we're not so sure yet. We will keep researching and discovering what teenagers actually like, and design a meaningful and fun activity just for them.
Thank you, Nick. And your teammates have more comments on these questions? No?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think it's really fantastic, because you guys are trying to, not only from you that you bring more teenagers to the villages, and your projects are also designed to invite more teenagers to join this rural ecological protection projects. I think it's really good. I'm really looking forward to that you guys can carry this on, and to bring more teenagers to the villages, and also like your very interesting projects and the programs that you designed. I think they are great spaces and opportunities to make it more attractive, and to lead more teenagers in Sichuan and also in other parts of China, and even around the globe, to come to this village and to experience what the community has done. So I think the project is really good, and I encourage you guys to carry it on. Thank you. And we have a question from Valencia.
Yep,
Valencia.
We have a question.
I really love the idea, and also
Yes, Valencia, please.
visualization. So this color and also the cute argan all look very attractive for the audience. And it reminds me of 2 cases. One is when I was in Africa, I went to an island where a marginalized tribe lived there, and they helped me to grow a mangrove tree there. So it would use like 10 years to 12 years for the mangrove tree to grow up. And every time I remember this thing, it will remind me that, okay, what I can do for the local communities. And there is a connection between me and Africa. So when I look into your ideas, I'm thinking of this case. This is a very good way for people to build the connection with the land and with the local communities. And second, last month I talked with a farmer from Henan province. In Henan, she grew the sweet potatoes, but she figured out that actually for the circle of the sweet potato growth, many of the months of the year is wasted because there is no plant in the soil. So it's actually a waste of the soil resources. So she's thinking if we can have more designs to invite more people from the cities to come here and to use that part of time to do something about agriculture as education, and then it can fix the problem. So I'm thinking maybe you can also talk with more farmers in different regions and they would figure it out. Okay, actually we can do the collaboration and we can use the resources, the time and the space to create something new. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Well, for our project, it's not just for Tinyo Village. It's definitely for people all around the world. But Tinyo Village is our current base and we've only done it for 1 year. But like, I believe that if we do this project continuously after 2 years, 3 years to 4 years, maybe we will be able to collaborate with other villages if they're interested in our projects, and we will not just be called Agan Shaonian, will not be called Agan Youth. We will, it will spread out into different aspects of agriculture or even sustainability.
Yeah, you can make it.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we have more questions or interactions, and let's leave it for later if we're running all the programs and if anyone wants to ask more after we share all the programs. Is that okay?
Of course, definitely.
Thank you so much, Nate, and thank you for your team. It's a
All right,
group
no
work.
problem. Thank you.
Good. Next one, I'm so glad, and we have a lot of friends today and sharing their concerns and thoughts on not only ecological issues, but they're actively connecting with the case for economy, the case for development, and it's very centered to ecological thinking is the way to rethink growth. Do we really need growth, exponential growth, or can we think growth in a more way that having all life on Earth thrive together? And it's also very much with our theme for the common good and co-benefits for human and planetary well-being. And the next one, we have a recording sent in from Ruohan, who is based in Shandong province in Jinan. And she couldn't be here with us, so she sent in a video that it's also connecting to what Tinyo's and Agan Shaonian was talking about. It is challenging to bring young people into organized and collaborative force in ecological civilizations. And Ruohan and her team is creating a ecological, let me get this right, ecological economy and diplomat, a study group. And they are studying Dr. Kopp's for the common good at this moment. So I'm going to play her video. Yourself. Okay, good. Sure. Can we hear?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ruohan Shao,
Yes.
a student in grade 11, comes from Jinan Foreign Language School in China. Today, I'm going to share my experience of founding a youth study group in ecological economics, which is the Enviro Econ Diplomats Forum with you. Well, I found this forum last October, and its emergence was inspired by ecological economics. In grade 10, I started to learn traditional economics, and I think some of the theories seemed outdated. Take the business cycle, for example. It is said that real GDP will continue to despite fluctuations. But I think GDP cannot grow endlessly, because its growth relies on the resources, but they are limited. For example, agriculture is an essential part of the economy, but its development is restricted by the area of land, the amount of water and nutrients provided by our earth. Also, GDP only includes four parts, which are consumption, investment, government spending, and next exports. But I think it should take the unpaid services like the ecosystem services and babysitting provided by housewives into consideration. Besides, I also wonder why we don't take the happiness of people as a part of national wealth. The spirit is as important as matter, and especially when the population of patients who suffer from mental disease is growing. Luckily, I happened to read an introduction to the book, The Limits to Growth, which confirmed my thoughts. Later, I have learned about the donut economic model and economic metric that broadens my horizon by listening to the speech of Kate Raworth in a TED Talk. I was surprised that there are scholars who are researching on updating our traditional economics and saving lives from an ecological crisis. So later, I determined to major in ecological economics. Last summer vacation, my participation in a summer camp in Sichuan province gave me a chance to experience how principles of ecological economics paved the way for economic developments in 2 Chinese villages. Ecological economics helped with poverty alleviation. Inspired by this experience, I started looking around and see who else was interested in the same topics. Finally, I found 7 like-minded peers and set a study group and an online forum where youth could learn about ecological economy and speak out their opinions. Our team members are from China and America. 4 of them are from Shanghai City. 2 of them are from New Jersey and California. And I am from the Shandong province. Right now, over 90 teenagers joined our initiatives in the WeChat group. We come together to share news or articles like this, and our main interests are environmental issues, ecological transition, and China's global presence. We published our thoughts on the recent global events. We introduced the Dr. John B. Cobb's process thinking and collect some questions and send it to Dr. Cobb. We also have finished reading the book Less is More by Jason Hackle. Now we are reading the book For the Common Good by Dr. Cobb. Besides, we organized 2 conferences on environmental policies and carbon accounts, respectively. The next conference is about creativity in the age of technology and artificial intelligence. We believe that teenager uses voices and opinions should be heard regarding important global issues, such as the environmental issues, biodiversity laws, and the challenge of artificial intelligence. And after all, we are the ones who will be responsible for the future. So far, I have to admit this is a very challenging task to balance study and forum, connect with scholars, and reach out to more like-minded high school peers and discuss the ecological economy and beyond. We really need help. About the future, we firstly hope to have more conversations with experts in ecological economics, which helps us to learn it deeply. And we secondly hope that we can communicate with foreign peers so that we can acquire better understanding of each other. For the conference theme, I think that the healthier our planet is, the happier humans will be. Starting in the area of industrial revolution, capitalism has motivated humans to exploit the nature and overshoot ecological boundaries just for numerous increase in GDP. Now, we humans are paying for all our mistakes we have made. Frequent natural disasters, climate changes, health risks posed by pollution, and so on, which threaten human well-being. To improve human well-being, we need a healthy planet. Solutions like an equal resource distribution and the implementation of the concept growth are required for co-benefits of human well-being and planetary health. And next, let's welcome the Vice President of our forum, Yihan Zhou, to share his understanding of this conference theme.
In today's society, many people do not take environmental protection seriously, believing that it has nothing to do with them and that they do not benefit from doing so. However, the opposite is true. By protecting the environment, everyone can gain benefits. Therefore, if people become aware of the concept of the co-benefits of human and the environment, they will become more environmental friendly and more willing to protect the earth.
Okay, thanks Yihan for his sharing. And now my presentation is over. I wish all of you have a good day and bye-bye.
Thank you. How sweet. Yeah, well, this is an ongoing initiative by Rohan and her colleagues, and they're running up very frequently events, I think every other week. So any friends online who are interested in joining, learning about ecological economy, and especially reading about Dr. Kopp's book on such issue, please contact her. I will share her contact in the chat room in a minute. Okay, good. We are running a little bit ahead of time, but running a little bit late, sorry. So we will invite our next group. Let me see. Our next group is Judy Ju in Los Angeles. Are you there? Hi,
Yes,
Judy.
hello.
Yeah, the stage is yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Judy, and today I will be talking about an artificial intelligence-based plastic waste collector. What do you think of when you think about the sea? How about forests, wildlife, animals? Would you think about how mysterious life actually is? Or about the cozy sunsets with fluffy, dreamy orange clouds in the sky at the beach? Or maybe the harm that humans have been putting into the environment, the rising temperatures in our ecosystems, and many species dying off? What about the waste that every person puts into landfills every single day? That is how a normal ecological speech usually starts with questions about society, yet most of the audience leaves with that information thrown off to the side, forgotten, the moment they exit the hallways. Back in my science class in 6th grade, we were asked to make an invention that would clean up floating pieces of plastic trash inside a bin. We had to bring our own everyday materials and assemble something that could be dragged over the bin and collect as much trash as possible. This project gave me another perspective on environmental cleanup and how difficult it was. In the end, through much trial and error, my team made a shark-shaped cardboard creation that collected the most trash. In reality, this would be unrealistic. There are still many projects online that include the idea of collecting trash from the oceans, like the waste shark. In addition to removing trash, the waste shark is capable of taking water samples and collecting important data about the aquatic environment through sensors and cameras. These tools allow the machine to monitor water quality as well as detect oil and other chemical spills in waterways. This data can then be used to help governments and organizations take action to protect our ecosystems and animal species. Projects like these can greatly reduce floating waste to prevent proliferation in our oceans. Although this is the case, the waste shark can only function for 8 hours on a single charge and only eat up to 500 kilograms of waste per day. Some of them have already been put into areas such as South Africa and the United States. This, however, is not enough. How could we implement expensive pieces of equipment in every lake and river? It would simply be unrealistic. there can still be many improvements that can be made to the waste shark. And this is where AI and computer science comes in. For open-ended projects like these, where it takes specific instructions and observations over a set amount of time, AI is a great way to control what areas the waste shark collects trash, as well as regulate minor problems that may occur throughout the day. It can also increase the amount of trash collected, as shorter and more precise paths can be taken. I think that encouraging the mass majority to stop using plastic, stop overhunting animals, and to give up important parts of our daily lives is too unrealistic. Maybe implementing a law would be useful, but that's also impossible in many parts. The best way to reverse the damage that we have already done is not to cut off the source. I believe that making more alternatives, as well as technology that reduces the waste in our environments, would be much more helpful than public signs that tell people not to use plastic straws. We could work together for a greener future and develop our societies that could become less reliant on carbons and oils that damage our ecosystem, and maybe then will less waste sharks have to be implemented. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, Judy. Seems like you have, how long have you been doing this project?
I have been doing this project since 6th grade, and the moment we were asked to make the project, I found it like very interesting. And my team, like we were thinking about ideas. Since it was a project that was supposed to be done in a classroom, of course we couldn't consider like outside factors. Like there's not going to be an invisible hand that like drags your project over like the ocean to collect trash. But we had to think in like a logical way for that solution. But I still believe that there could be many other solutions that could, like, this is where AI and computer science comes in, right? You can use it to like make projects that could be implemented in real life on like a much larger scale.
Yeah. Well, friends Charles, Charles asked if you have an image of the waste shark around that.
We do not, because as I said, it was made in 6th grade. It was like years ago.
Years ago, do you plan to develop that?
Yes, we plan to like make better designs that could be implemented in real life.
And what kind of help do you need, if you need any help at all?
If we're gonna need help, we probably would need like a group of people who could help me with developing every single step of this project, as well as the funds to like maybe build small models that could be tested over like a more realistic area.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a Mingyang here. She's an expert in design thinking, and probably she can help
we
you.
can talk more later on. I think you need prototypes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you need some prototypes. I mean, from lab environment or later on and bring it to real scenarios.
Of course.
I think it's good if you can prototyping more, it will bring good results. Okay, we can talk more later on.
Yes,
Good.
thank you.
Thank you. And Judy, you will be coming with coming to the conference on Saturday.
Yes, I will.
Okay, good. Well, I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, I'll be very glad to be there.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Okay, next up we have Hans. If Hans is here.
Hello.
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 Yes. Yes, good. Hans, do you have slide share?
I do not. I will be talking a little bit about my project.
Sure, no problem.
All right.
Can
Hello.
start.
My name is Hans. I'm from Los Angeles and I go to Loyola High School. So I'm going to be talking a little about my research project about the dual impact of electric vehicles on climate and economy, especially a pivotal component of our journey towards ecological civilization, electric vehicles or EVs. As we navigate the challenges posed by climate change and seek sustainable solutions, EVs emerge as a beacon of hope, offering a dual promise of environmental preservation and economic prosperity. First, let's go into the environmental aspect. Climate change, driven primarily by human activities, threatens the delicate balance of our planet. The transportation sector, specifically notorious for its carbon emissions, stands as a significant contributor to this crisis. However, EVs present a shift in this narrative by replacing traditional internal combustion engines With electromotors, EVs offer a cleaner alternative, drastically reducing harmful emissions. Carbon dioxide, the primary greenhouse gas responsible for global warming, is substantially mitigated by the adoption of EVs. Unlike their gasoline counterparts, EVs produce zero tailpipe emissions, thereby curbing the release of CO2 into the atmosphere. This reduction in emissions not only combats climate change, but also improves air quality, fostering healthier environments for communities worldwide. Furthermore, the ripple effects of EV adoption extend beyond mere reduction in carbon emissions, such as land temperature, critical metric influenced by climate change, experiences alleviation as the widespread of use of EVs reduce heat trapping gases in the atmosphere. This, coupled with the preservation of natural habitats facilitated by a decreased reliance on fossil fuels, contributes to the conservation of biodiversity, safeguarding ecosystems for generations to come. Moreover, the correlation between EVs and population dynamics is worth noting. As urbanization continues to surge and strain on resources escalates, and environmental degradation also increases. However, EVs offer a viable solution by promoting sustainable urban mobility. With their quiet operation, almost zero emissions, EVs mitigate noise pollution and improve the quality of life in densely populated areas, making cities more livable and, human well-being overall. Transitioning from the environmental realm to the economic sphere, the potential of EVs to drive prosperity is also undeniable. The traditional automotive industry rooted in fossil fuels faces a transformative change as EVs redefine the future of transportation. This shift not only fosters innovation and technological advancement, but also represents lucrative opportunities for economic growth. Investments in EV infrastructure, such as charging stations and grid integration, spur job creation and stimulate economic activity. This EV market catalyzes the demand for skilled labor in manufacturing, research, and development, fostering a robust ecosystem of employment opportunities. Also, as governments incentivize EV adoption through subsidies and tax breaks, consumers are empowered to make sustainable choices while stimulating market demand. Furthermore, the transition to EVs reduces reliance on imported oil, so enhancing energy security and mitigating geopolitical risks associated with fossil fuel dependency. By embracing EVs, nations can chart a course towards energy independence, as well as their reliance in an increasingly volatile global landscape. In conclusion, electric vehicles represent a tangible manifestation of our commitment to ecological civilization. By embracing electric vehicles, we will not only combat climate change and safeguard the environment as a whole, but also foster economic prosperity and social well-being. As we embark on this transformative journey, let's seize the opportunity to build a future that's not only sustainable, but also equitable for all. Thank you.
Good. Good. That's thank you, Hans. That was pretty fast. I was trying to get my heads around this topic because the EV topic right now is really one of the biggest topic in the headline right now. And then I was traveling in Europe, and everywhere I go, and people are talking about the topic, especially how China is performing in the global EV market and productions. I wondered, do you follow that news, or what do you think about that, how China is performing in this?
I follow it a little bit, and I think especially with other countries as well, they're moving more towards electric vehicle production, which is all can be a good or bad thing. Good thing, like economies rise and just job opportunities increase. But also at the same time, the new technology, it's kind of it's hard going into new technology and trying to start new.
Yeah, well, it is quite challenging to adopt this transformation, and also there's a downside of that, and they're overlooked a little bit, is the environmental impact by creating the EV necessary, like the batteries and its equipment, and especially how global investment is playing in this issue. So it's, as you said, it's a geopolitical issue as much as a technological transformation issue. So I encourage you to read more and keep doing this study. And will you be joining us offline as well?
Potentially, yes.
Potentially. Okay, good. Well, I look forward to seeing you or welcome you more onto this discussion in the future program. Thank you, Hans. Good. Wow, what a team today. So we have one more group to share, and that's the last but not the least one. And this is our friends from Columbia Climate School. That sounds very interesting. And are you there? It's Zixin, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. And you have your colleague with you?
Okay.
Good.
And my partner, like Zhang Yuyan, is also like sharing with. Give me some time to share my screen. Oh, just to compliment on the EV study is very interesting, and just to share what we learned in climate school, that EV is just to move the emission from the road to the electricity generators. I don't know if you realize that, because it's using electricity. So if the electricity itself release a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, then we cannot say that EV can save a lot of energy, like emission. So we have to decarbonize our power system. And I know we are all working on that, maybe in the future. Yeah. Okay. So I'm Zixin Zhang.
I'm Jiang Yu. Hello.
Today our topic is very practical to drive change in 15 weeks, namely a semester in the university towards sustainable lifestyles. So we use 15 impactful methods to engage university students and staff to live a more sustainable lives. So we are currently current graduate students from Columbia Climate School, and we are both from the same undergrad, XJTLU, in Suzhou, China. And we are the previous co-leaders of Sustainable Future Talents, SFT, during the last year. So who we are? Jiao, can you recall on that?
Yeah, so actually our sustainable journey begins in 2024, and we gathered a large group of people who are interested in sustainable, who are aiming to change the world, change the society using a very, very sustainable way. So we are very student-oriented, and we are a very, very diversified group. And as you can say that this is like the group picture for us, and we will introduce more like the activities we hold in our organization.
Yes. So our mentor is our like soul in this organization. She is Ellen Touchstone, a doctor in education and also the associate dean in our business school. She is a white hair sustainable queen who leads by example in her own sustainable life. So under her guidance, our initiative of 15 ways in 15 weeks are all based on Anatomy of Action by UNEP and UN School, which is 15 suggestions of actionable steps towards sustainable lifestyles. For example, for stuff, we have beyond buying, ditch disposables, named use less when used items. And for food, we have use all your food and grow your own, etc. So our members turn idea into weekly actions in IBSS and our campus. So let's take a bit deeper look at what we did.
Yes, so the first activity is called Grow Your Own. And as the scene already mentioned, for this one is under the column of food. So in the left side, you can see that there is this kind of the three kind of the plant. It is the mint, the mushrooms, and the cat grass. And we found that students love it so much. So we further organized like a workshop to teach students how to like some experiences about to plant some kind of the grass or other things. And the left pictures is from our participant, and she's very good at planting. So this is a pepper. It grows so well from a seed. So that's all for the grow your own. And our aim for this activity is to reduce like the carbon footprint for transportations, because when you buy some vegetables or other meat or other things, you need like the transportations from other area to the specific area you buy. But if you grow this by yourself, you will just avoid these emissions.
Yes, and you avoid pesticides inside the vegetables you buy. Yeah. And in the food section, we also have protein swaps. Namely, we eat less meat, like with higher greenhouse gas emissions, and eat more plant-based foods. They are not only more like low carbon, but also more healthy to your health. So we invited chefs from Good Food Fund, NGO, to our campus to teach students how to make easy, sustainable, and healthy light meals. So in food session, we also have Use All Your Food Week. We designed this Too Good to Go, namely the food is too good to be wasted. Here, I want to note that we displayed the last week food waste data on the screen so that when you walk into the school dining hall, you can see it. In this way, students and the staff who saw this data and decided to waste less food are out of their own will instead of being told or being educated to. So in this way, they can continue their actions in a more sustainable way. And they are actually this event is actually aligned with their own interests instead of being rewarded to do something. And we believe that can make a more longer term impact. And
Yes, so the next activity is fashion slowdown. It is under the column of staff areas. And our activities is a clothes exchange market, because we found that every time when it turns out to a different seasons, the student would like to drop their previous clothes without any kind of further use on that. And students just want to like buy something new, but as you know that nowadays the fast fashion is very popular. So we try to organize this kind of a very unstable but very useful platform to let the student to exchange the clothes. So if someone do have like a useless clothes for themselves, they can denote it. It is not useless to other people's, and it is not for free. They can they can get some credit for their denotions, and they can use this credit to buy some food from our organizations or buy other people's clothes. And the final data shows that more than 60% of the clothes have been exchanged. And we just denoted the remaining one to some of the NGOs in order to help some of the poor students, like in the mountain area or in other places. So like the final very impactful number we would like to highlight is that by avoiding these new purchases, we saved more than 5 million liters of water. So that's a huge amount of water we saved. It's amazing.
Yeah. So in the stuff, we also have beyond buying. We collected and cleaned the unclaimed bikes on campus. So because we found that there were a lot of bikes rusty, dirty, or just broken in some parts, just sit on the campus, but some of them can be still used. So we donate those usable bikes to children in need to repurpose these bikes. And beyond food and stuff, we also have fun. Sustainability is so much fun. We can stay curious by playing some games in our daily lives to make our lifestyle more sustainable. So we placed some puzzle games in our lobby of the business school, and students, when they just study like very tired, they just came and play the puzzles one by one, and they just finish a lot. And in our enjoy your journey week, we took our members and other students to visit the organic farm in Shanghai. It's called You Good Farm, and we learned about how to make permaculture agriculture. Like they feed some chickens and ducks, but they are not for eating. They just for like complement the whole ecosystem. And in this way, we just reconnect to the nature and escape from the city, which is a very good means to learn about sustainability. So beyond 15 ways in 15 weeks, we also found very good talent in designing in our Sustainable Future Talents members. So Joey, can you tell us more about this calendar?
Yes, for sure. So as you can see, this is like the physical versions for our sustainable calendars. And the reasons for students to design this is we found that students know less about the sustainable festivals, but there exists so much sustainable festivals around the whole world, around the whole year. So that's why we found that it's very necessary to design one kind of the sustainable calendars in order to let other people to memorize all the sustainable festivals and to celebrate it together. So as you can see that these are like for screenshot for the front page, and I would like to mention that it is amazing because all of these pictures are directly drawn by our group members' hands. It is not like something related using the AI, using the open AI, using other media platforms. We directly draw all the pictures, and there exists like around 50 festivals around the whole year. So that's why we just designed like to divide them into different weeks. So that is the front page of this sustainable calendar. As you can see from the bottom page, on the left, it is like some other activities we hold in our organization. So our organization is not all about like 15 weeks in 15 weeks. We do have the hot price challenge. We have the choose experiences or other thing. So in the right-hand side, you can see that these are the 24 on the solar terms. And it is a very, very good Chinese traditional culture. And we try to put all the pictures related to that in order to let more people know about like what is the Chinese culture about. Yeah, so that's, I think, basically all for our sustainable calendar.
Yeah. So by this calendar, we showed our understanding of sustainability to respect the nature of nature and to call on every youth, every person to really imagine, create, and act, and to reconnect to our nature so that we can live as one. And that's all. Thank you, and we welcome all your questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Vivian, and all your replies.
Thank you. Well, I definitely want a copy of that calendar. When is it out?
It's already out. We can ship to you like when you come back to China or something.
Yeah, and do you consider translating that into English?
It is actually like an English version for that, but for like the solar terms, we think it will be much more like convenient for us to use some Chinese words to deliver it. But I mean, for all the like the festivals, it is written in English. Like this, you can see these are the English words there for the festival.
Wow, wonderful. That's so inspiring. Connecting with Chinese culture and sustainability. And it's fun. And that's the most important thing. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And we have a question from Chris. Yes, Chris, please.
I guess it's just like a thought, not a question, but I think like the activity set up by you guys are like in a very clever way. So like the clothing fashion activity, like you guys have like incentive structures. Like if you exchange clothes, you get like if I remember correctly, it was like credit. So I think that this actually provides like just another incentive for people to participate in it. And I also feel like these activities are just quite clever in and of themselves. So like you're not asking people to like take extremely radical actions like just not use electricity. Your project is sort of like all of your project is centered around like repurposing bikes or getting rid of clothes that people would like throw away anyway. So like it's not a huge concession that people will make. So I think that this is a huge factor that can increase the buy-in and the participation from like people around you. So yeah, really, really appreciate you guys' works.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your feedback. And yes, we are using as SFT tokens, which is what we ask someone in Taobao to design like a WeChat platform for us so that we can record everybody's SFT tokens in the database so that they can exchange and sell their spend their tokens.
Yeah, so because we think that for the serious activities, each activity don't have like a very, very high impact for meaning to people, but if we just added them all, it will have a very, very like great impact to like the business world students and others. So like the token is only one of the ideas for us to maybe to have some connections between different activities. Another is like we have a sustainable passport. So if student just take some activities, they can have like a core on that. So like they can collect all of them and show it to others. So like that is another way for us to increase students like the demand and their passion to join us.
I see a lot of people are interested in our calendar. We are very pleased. So if you're interested, want to have a copy or like electric version, please contact us via email or WeChat. I'll leave them there and tell you also leave them there. Then we can have it and we can discuss anything.
Yeah, great. We'll put in the QR code of our WeChat group, and we hope you can all join and we can share. And for our friends that are not on WeChat, we'll send a newsletter. We can send in emails to a copy of the calendar. How about that? And Charles, and since you're here, I wonder if you have some thoughts and recommendations for us. I saw you make comments there. Wouldn't that be wonderful if we start the sustainability game? Sustainable game in 15 weeks? That's wonderful, isn't it?
I'm looking at the Columbia Climate School, want to engage, want to learn more. Presentation was just moving, inspiring. I can't believe I'm still awake because I'm and the market. I mean, of course, the school, brilliant. The one word that comes to mind, just thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Charles. Well, with that comment, and we are concluding all of our presentations for tonight. Wow, what a team. Congratulations, everyone. I want to give you a big applause. That's wonderful. I've never been so touched and moving in the whole history of our program, and the complexity, the diversity, the liveliness and the questions that we raised, and that's wonderful. And I so look forward to hear more. And I so encourage you to continue what you've already started and dig deeper and challenge more on that. I'll challenge more on the status quo. And then as you can see, our program, as special as it is a cross-cultural conversation and also intergenerational conversations. And we have our speakers and we have a lot of teachers are from the previous generations, and we have the young teenagers from this current generations. We will have even younger ones that are coming soon and sooner. So it's so moving for me to see this beautiful collaboration that are happening. And then I hope we can facilitate more of these conversations and more practical, real collaborations happening. And then I look forward to see many of you here and with us in Claremont in America, or we'll welcome you to come travel with us in China. And now that we know our friends in Tianyoucun in Chengdu is planting orange trees, and let's all go plant orange trees with them.
Hi, Vivian.
Yeah.
Can I
Yes,
just make one comment?
of
You
course.
see, I'm holding a cup, and this actually is following up on the first presenter, the Annie Chen. You know, he makes use of the cans, you know, the containers. You see, this one is made of like a soda can. You see the soda can? Do you see the soda can? You see the smooth
Yes.
cups? And this yogurt cup. Okay, the yogurt cup. And then this is self-watering. And then you make two ways into a beautiful self-watering handcraft for kids as a gift. I don't know if you can sell it or not because these are real flowers. This is flowers. This is the only way you can put it inside your car. I don't see anybody has flowers inside a car. Okay, you can put it inside your car. Cup holder, and you have flowers. You can make it as a gift. So this is repurposing. You find something, put two ways together, but you wait a gift for anybody. Okay, especially for kids, you know, they can help me to make it. Yeah, just show you, you know, you can be a creative, make something useful out of waste. Okay, that's just the follow up for the. I don't know if some have good idea to market it, you know. So I don't know if yeah, because that's basically no cost, and this flower, one leaf can make another flower. Okay, this is like a Valerie, and 紫罗兰啊，紫罗兰啊，你可以去做它。我就跟你讲，very interesting, very useful.
So
And
wonderful. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you, Mike.
just
And
one
probably
comment.
you have to come back again to make a workshop. We can all do this together online. But what a wonderful idea to bring to invite the plants into your car space. And that's rare. That's there, no brainer. Of course, we spend most of our time, a lot of our time in the car every day. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mike. Good. Well, guys, we are running again. We're running off time, but thank you so much for staying with us the whole time. Some of you I know will be joining us this Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you and speak more about your projects and your passion.